Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom, shalom. This is your brother Quan Watt with the Great Millstone Charlotte Camp, coming with another quick lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem El Shai. And this morning, man, I just want to touch on, the Spirit Brothers have been in, going into these, a few videos that came out, recently, regarding, the cyber attacks that are about to come, right? The coming, uproars of the people, and the martial law, you know? And, hey, as brothers have been saying, it's going to be a hot summer, right? Now, I got that word for hot here in the Merriam-Webster's dictionary, and it reads, marked by violence or fierceness, because it's going to be a time of great violence, man, a time of great death, right? And this is what we have to be prepared for, man. Prepare for a hot summer. How do you prepare? You prepare in the spirit, right? You prepare by getting closer and closer to Yahweh Shemel Shai, man, because that's your only source of protection, man. Because everything else out here, it will leave you susceptible to judgment, right? Now, looking at that word fierceness, let's see it here. It says, having or displaying an intense or ferocious aggressiveness. It says, let's see here. Let's go back to the other ones. It says here, fierce, a violently hostile or aggressive temperament given to fighting or killing, marked by unrestrained zeal or vehemence. Man, extreme, vexatious, disappointing, or intense. That's the point, man. The level of violence, as it said here, marked by violence or fierceness, man. Intensity. The times are about to get real intense, real violent. Let's grab that real quick. Jeremiah 30:7. It reads, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. Man, and that day being great is great in what? Great in violence, man. Great in horrors. Great in what's the word? Fierceness, ferocity. Of the people, man. It's gonna be a real ferocious spirit. A real violent spirit, a real intense. Coming out of the land, man. Right? It's like it. It says, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it, right? It being Jacob's trouble, this time is, the time of great judgment for 2/3 of Israel, man, right? 2/3 are being judged, for their wicked deeds, and the 1/3, the hopeful elect, as we are, we hope to be of that elect number. The 1/3 are going to be being purified through these trials, man, right? So we all have to go through it. That's what it says. But he shall be saved out of it, right? Not before it, right? There's no pre-tribulation rapture, as these Christians would like to have you think, right? We're gonna be saved out of the midst of the chaos, man, right? And we're seeing the chaos, start to flower, right? The martial law, you know, being implemented, right? The cyber attacks, the grids being shut down, lack of food, right? The sedition among men, all these things are starting to ramp up, man, right? And this we could see that this summer, Lord willing, right? But even if it doesn't take place this summer, you have to be doing what you can to get on the right side of the Lord, because He's the one who's bringing all these things to pass, right? This is all His will, right? So you have to prepare in the spirit, right? This is the true doomsday prepping is prepping, through the spirit and power. How about Shemal Shai, man, right? As a man, teaching and going out and warning the people, and as a woman, you Continue to pray, right? Continue to be built up, and you know, learn your duties as a wife, man, right? To a man of the Lord willing. But even if not, your belief can help save the unbelieving husband. As the scriptures say, man, right? So we just all have to continue to pray for more faith and pray for the endurance to make it through these times, because, like I said, it's gonna be a hot summer, man, right? Things are gonna be violent. It's gonna be fierce, right? Intense. That's what we're about to see. Lord willing, this summer. You know. Now I wanted to get this video just real quick going into the martial law. The brother Amawon Gabar had put on his channel, and we'll go ahead and play that now.
So in yesterday's video I made about the military mobilizing and all the military action going on in the country. So I asked everybody to put in comments if you've seen something going on in your town, so we can kind of see if maybe it's just a certain area, maybe it's a training exercise, maybe it's not a big deal, So these are the places that people commented that said they had something going on in their area. I have a hard time believing that this is just a training exercise in all these areas. It's quite a large list. Seems like a large list to me. I don't know. Maybe you won't think it's so large. Maybe somebody with military experience on here will be able to comment and say, hey, nope, that's normal. I find it unusual. Here's the list. San Diego, Michigan, Bakersfield, California, South Jersey, St. Louis, North Dakota, Philly, New York City, Yosemite, California, Idaho Falls, Vermont, Illinois, Indiana. There's a lot going on in Canada, supposedly, also, from people commenting. LA, San Fran, Ohio, Utah, Jacksonville, Florida, New Mexico, Boston, Massachusetts, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Chicago, Illinois, Colorado, Kansas City, Missouri, New Orleans, Virginia, Miami, Florida. Several people from from Florida commenting. All these people mentioning they have some kind of this. What you saw behind me a little bit ago was actually in Mexico. Large military presence in Mexico, which you never know with the cartels. That could just be from the cartels. It's hard to say. But when you see helicopters like this flying through the air, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a military guy. It seems like I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. 28 places I named that have military presence, military activity. That seems like a lot for a training exercise, people. I had a lot of comments saying it's just a training exercise. Stop fear-mongering. That's a lot of places where they're having training exercise.
Hey, they're preparing, for those lockdowns, man. Preparing to implement that martial law, right? And we understand it's going to be, false flag events, right? Various things that they have set in place in order to push forward that martial law, man, right? All these things are, to control the people, man, right? Because look, they're going to be forcing the MOTB one way or another, right? And in order to do so, they have to crash the system. And when they crash the system, the people are going to get desperate, man, right? People are going to be losing it, right? You're going to see that the majority of the people what's the word? Salakia, completely lose their composure, man, right? Because they have no faith, right? They're not rooted in the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. And that's why it's important, for us to get more rooted, to grow in faith, to grow in our endurance, right? In belief, because that's the only thing that's going to protect you in these times, right? Now I want to read this in the NLT. It says Jeremiah 30:7. In all history, there has never been such a time of terror. It will be a time of trouble for my people Israel. Yet in the end, they will be saved. And that they is the elect, man, right? But that time of terror is coming, right? We're seeing the government is preparing, to be able to control large amounts of people. That's why they're doing all these military movements, man. Right? Now let me see if I can get that other video the brother had posted. Yeah, here we go.
First source came from this person who received emails from internal department heads, I believe, within government, I guess you could say. And this is the message. There are currently 250, roughly, I believe is the number, cities in the world, including America, of course, who are being held ransom in cyber attack fashion right now. One just happened a couple days ago. They cleaned it up. But right now, globally, I'm told imminently. Now, when I say imminently, I don't have an exact number for you, but it could be 5 minutes from now. It could be 48 hours from now. It could be a week or 2 weeks from now. It's not going to be like 6 months from now. That's what I was told. Like imminent. Also, that something like this could pop off on a weekend because they know that people aren't technically prepared. Now, keep in mind the 21st next week, summer solstice. We're talking cyber attacks across cities that would potentially shut cities down. An attack potentially on the infrastructure of America / and the financial system. It could lead into a lockdown situation, which could also lead to a soft martial law. And this was not like they didn't say, hey, this could happen, this is what I think. This is not a prediction. I'm told this is what's going to happen. I'm also told to make sure your family is protected. Now, a lot of you I know are going to put in the comments, what does this mean? Give me details. What do you mean protected? This is all I can give you. This is what I was given. So what is that? Have phones ready. Have food ready. All the stuff we've talked about for the last couple of years. What was also said was everything that you've been hearing about and planning for the last couple of years that we knew or thought was going to come to fruition. This is it. This is not a joke. He also said this is not a test. This is real. And I'm not saying that I don't want to stoke fear. I'm not trying to get clickbait. I received the call. I immediately talked to my people around me. I immediately called my wife, called friends. I called Scott McKay, calling other friends, and letting them know what is happening. This could look like a war on our infrastructure. They will hold our cities, again, ransom. Do not be surprised, and I don't know how this would occur, or if it will occur. I don't know the intensity of this. You might have problems with money. You might have problems with paying for stuff. You might have full-on lockdowns and blackouts in your neighborhoods and cities. I don't know. And I wish I could give you more details of it, but this is the general what's happening. As I get more information, I'll let you know. And by the way, again, I was told this early. Within an hour or so after I was told this personally, I had it confirmed by another source outside of that, who again, I'm not going to say. And then there are other sources online that within the last hour, so this has all happened over the last few hours, other sources online who have also indicated that absolutely we are going to be under a major cyber attack. Whether planned or not, I don't know. But Americans, he said, if you're ready for this, it'll look crazy. He said the normies who have no idea what's going on right now will have no idea what to do. So if you see panic, if you see craziness, if you see chaos, just be someone who can, act normal or bring sanity to situations. So again, I might be forgetting some stuff that he told me, but that works for now. I'll do my best if I get more information to let you know. If I can think of anything else he told me that I'm forgetting right now, I'll of course let you know. And we'll go from there. So do me a favor, stay protected. This is going to get rough, most likely. Again, it could be as you're watching this video, and it could be a couple weeks from now. It's happening though. It's not something that's being pushed off in the distance. It's occurring. And again, summer solstice next week. Remember, it'll be a hot summer. Stay safe.
Hey, like Esau said, and like brother's been saying, man, so it's gonna be a hot summer, man. Right? Marked by vicious, ferocious violence, intensity. We're about to start seeing people lose it. Right? We don't know who's the cause of whatever attacks that are gonna happen. They're probably self-inflicted. Whether it be the power grid, whether it be the internet going down, whether it be these cyber attacks, right? All these things are them trying to, gain more control. All these things are them making an attempt, to push forward that MOTB infrastructure, man, right? Because then, once the people have lost everything, then they can push that MOTB in, man, right? So Lord willing, these things start to intensify, over the coming weeks, right? Let's go here. Because as many brothers are and have, this second Ezra 15 and 16, going to this beautifully, man. Actually, second Ezra, and we'll start in. We'll start in 12. This is second Ezra chapter 15 and verse 12, right? Because he said, prepare, man, but there's no preparing outside of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, As Elder Menatazakba said, you can put some things together, but you can't put your hope in your goods, man, right? Because the whole system is about to be completely uprooted, man, right? And your faith in the Lord is what's going to deliver you, out of these times, right? And we're going to have the utmost faith, right? Unwavering, unmovable, unshakable, right? In these times, because it's going to be, dark times, man, right? In the second Ezra chapter 15 and verse 12, it reads, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and the punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it, right? So this is all the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, right? The plagues and the punishments being, great death, man. Even darkness, the darkness is gonna be a plague, right? So when these blackouts occur, right, that's gonna be a plague. It says, they that till the ground shall mourn, for their seeds shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful constellation. And we're seeing, all the farmers, all their crops are starting to be compromised, right? That's part of the famine that's about to, come upon the land, right? Which is something that people haven't been talking about much, as of late. They're worried about the military, setting up for martial law, but we're in the midst of a manufactured famine, man. So on top of all this, the lack of bread, the lack of food is still here, right? It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, right? It's like, woe to the world, man. right? The whole earth, and them that dwell therein. All these people, man. And look, like you reading, I think it's John 14, where it talks about we're not of this world. So Lord willing, we'll be of that elect number, man. And we're not of these people, man. They hate us, right? So look, they gonna get that judgment, and Lord willing, we get that salvation, man. Right? It says, "For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh." And for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men. Right? And that's what this, as we watched that first video, these martial law, these different military vehicles being transported, so that they're ready to, shut down these cities and bring up these curfews and have these lockdowns, right? It says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes," right? Going into the just like the governments, so your local politicians and your police officers. So like right? These people aren't gonna care anymore, man. Everything they're just gonna do what their will is, man. Right? And that's what that intensity is gonna come from, man. It's gonna come from that desperation. That violence is gonna come from desperation, right? That all these things are gonna come because people, are in a state of confusion, man. Right? But we're not gonna be confused in those days because we're gonna have that stability from this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, man. Right? Isaiah 33:6. The wisdom and knowledge will be the stability of your time and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure, man. These people don't fear the Lord, right? So these are the results, man. This is the reward of not fearing the Lord, right? You're being caught up in this madness, man, right? And we're gonna be in the midst of it, right? But we're not gonna be taken by it, you know. It says, "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able." Right? They setting up roadblocks and blockades, right? Checkpoints. That's what these military movements are for, man. Right? It says, "For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity on his neighbor." Right? Because it's gonna be great violence out here, man. As brothers say, when people lose it all, they lose it, man. You know, or when they have nothing to lose, they lose it. One of those. I think it's the second. When they have nothing to lose, they lose it, man. You know, these the mental states of the people is about to be completely, torn to shreds, man. It says, "For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid." Man, it's gonna be a great fear out here, man. Because it's gonna be violence, intensity, right? Ferociousness, a hot summer, man. Right? Lord willing, you know. It says, "A man shall have no pity on his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of lack of bread, and for great tribulation." Man. But that's what's coming, man. You know. These coming cyber attacks on the infrastructure, the blackouts, the famines, the what's the word? The lockdowns, the military lockdowns, and martial law. These concentration camps, right? All these things are imminent, right? We're seeing different signs of these things being put in place, man. Right? So this is your chance to get it, look, get in order, man. Right? Get in order underneath Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Do what you need to do to get in the good graces of the Lord, man. So that you can have protection from these things to come. Right? Because that's the only doomsday prepping you can do, man. The preparations for the day of doom, start with the fear of the Lord, man. Right? Now, I want to get this real quick. Um, start in 10. It says Sirach chapter 2 and verse 10, right? Because, you can't lose faith. I just finished watching the Elder Yashawamba, talking about Abraham's faith when he went to sacrifice Isaac, right? And that's the type of faith that we have to have, man. That's the type of faith that we have to continue to pray for, right? The supreme faith, man. Faith that all things are possible through Yahweh Shai, man, right? This is Sirach or Ecclesiasticus chapter 2 and verse 10. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? So in these times, we're going to be calling upon the Lord, man. And you got to believe that the Lord is going to deliver you, man, right? And in the meantime, we have to continue to do the works that we've been, commanded to do, that we're required to do, right? That's how we build up that spiritual bank account, so that when these times do come, these blackouts, these lockdowns, right, these cyber attacks, the infrastructure collapsing, martial law, right, the pushing of the MOTB, right, World War III, right, all these things, once all these things start happening, right, we have that hedge of protection, man. It says, for the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long suffering, and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins and saveth in time of affliction, right? So when Jeremiah 30 and 7 is happening, right, we want to be saved out of it, man, right? And we believe that we will be. We we pray that we endure unto the end, right? And should brothers continuing what we're doing right now, man, continuing the faith, we will be, man, right? It says, woe to the fearful hearts and faint hands, and the sinner that goeth two ways, right? So lack of faith, right? Fearful hearts. Your mind is unstable, right? You wavering, right? You can't waver in this thing, man, right? You have to be unmovable, right? Unshakable. It says, woe to the fearful hearts, woe be to the fearful hearts and faint hands. They don't want to do the work, right? And the sinner that goeth two ways. Woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not. Therefore shall he not be defended. Look, man, belief and faith, is of the utmost importance, man, right? Because if you don't believe, you don't have the faith, you will not be defended, right? And we'll see all the things you need to be defended from, man, right? You heard Esau talking about once these places collapses, people are going to lose it, man. Right? And you want to be defended from these things. You want to be defended in these times, man. Right? So when you're preparing for the hot summer that's incoming, right? And even if it doesn't happen this summer, you're preparing for these actions and these things to happen, right? You're preparing in faith, right? In belief and trust in the Lord, man. Right? Understanding that He's your only recourse. He's your only option of survival, man, of salvation, right? Right? So verse 13. Woe to him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not. Therefore shall he not be defended. Woe unto you that have lost patience, right? And your patience possess your souls, right? And what will ye do when the Lord shall visit you, right? You stop doing the work, you put the plow down, right? What are you going to do when the Lord visits you, man? It ain't going to be no more talking, man. It's just going to be straight judgment, man. And everybody's going to know why they're receiving the judgments that they receive, man. Right? The Lord is going to remove those spirits off of them. And they're going to have that clarity of mind to understand that they blew an opportunity for salvation, man. Right? It says, woe unto you that have lost patience, and what will ye do when the Lord shall visit you? They that fear the Lord will not disobey his word, and they that love him will keep his ways, right? And what's the word of the Lord, man? To do this work, right? He told us to. We do it. It's really simple as that, man, right? Just like Abraham, had the faith. The Lord told him to sacrifice Isaac. He was going to do it, but he had faith that, as the Lord told him that he was going to be the progenitor, of the seed line, that he was going to receive the promises, right? There was only one way for that to happen, and that was through Isaac being brought back to life, right? So he believed that regardless of what he did, the Lord was going to keep his word, right? But we have to continue to do what the Lord told us to do, right? And this time is to go teach, right? And warn the people, right? These are all warnings going out, sounding the alarm. That these things are imminent, as Esau said. These things are imminent. We don't know when they're going to happen, but we know that they are going to happen, man. Right? So prepare, right? In the spirit, right? Get closer to the Lord, man. That's your only option, right? It says, "They that fear the Lord will seek that which is well pleasing unto him, and they that love him shall be filled with the law." And what's well pleasing unto the Lord, man? Right? Doing these works, right? Making these sacrifices, on a daily basis, man. Right? As the scriptures say, do good unto yourself and give the Lord his due offering, right? It's what's required, right? Is that offering, right? That sacrifice, making your body a living sacrifice, right? Doing that, man. Warning the people, right? Give them warning from me, right? Because he's ultimately the one, in charge of all these things, man. Right? He's the director of the movie, and everything moves at his will, right? So if you friends with the director, right, you're gonna have a good part in the movie, man. Right? You got an inside track. With the director, he's gonna put you in good positions. In the world, that's how they do it. So with the Lord, how much more, right? We get an inside track to salvation. So we continue and build our relationship with Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. It says, they that fear the Lord will prepare their hearts. Will prepare their hearts, meaning their minds, man. Right? That through that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right? And humble their souls in his sight, saying, we will fall into the hands of the Lord and not into the hands of men. For as his majesty is, so is his mercy, man. Right? So that's that faith, man. Right? You prepare your heart, you prepare your mind, right? For these times to come, right? You read, chapters like Ezekiel 9th chapter, right? Jeremiah 16th chapter. I think Jeremiah 6 as well, going into judgments, man. Right? The great death that the Lord is about to bring upon the place, man. Sirach, 2nd Ezra 16:15, going into what's about to befall the land, Look, man, as we watching those videos, it's gonna be, they're preparing, for something to happen, right? They have something up their sleeve, right? And it's on us to prepare in the spirit, right? Because it's all the will of the Lord, right? That's the only way we're gonna be protected in these times, So, hey, prepare for a hot summer, man. And by prepare, I mean prepare your mind, prepare your spirit, by tapping in, staying abreast, staying in tune with brothers, right? And continue to read and continue to grow, continue to pray, ask the Lord for the endurance and for more faith, man, because that's what's going to deliver us in these days, man. Our belief and faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, so, hey, that's the point. I pray that lesson was edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. I want to close by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham Yahushua, Bahasham Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. And peace and blessings to the hopeful elect pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom, shalom, wa, kwam yasharala, wa, abad babal, man. Hey, DTA song, we almost home. Shalom.